Hello.
Hello.
How's it going, Veronica?
It's going. You're
It's
the
going.
captain.
Oh, yes. Yes. Welcome, everyone. This is episode 84 of the NgoVo Convo podcast, where two stupids make it hype.
Right?
Right. Because it's hype.
Right.
It's always hype. Because I'm here.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
And you
And
too.
right, because I'm here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wait. We'll
You
talk
see
about
what-
that later.
Yeah.
Because I'm one of your hosts, Harrison O, and I'm joined by Veronica Vo. She's right over there. If you're
He's
watching
right
on
over
YouTube.
that way?
That way? Wow.
This
What's
way?
that way?
Wow.
You'll find out. Go watch the video version. Debate. But if you're new here, we just want an excuse to talk about anything that ranges from animated comics and really just to clean up our never-ending backlog because, oh my god, it's way too long.
It's never ending.
Never ending.
Never ending.
But some would say we're conversing.
Wow. Like NgoVo Convo. Like the logo above Harrison's head.
Yes, exactly that, actually.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah,
you.
yeah.
Appreciate it.
Exactly that.
But you can watch every episode on youtube.com or listen to it as a podcast by searching up NgoVo Convo on your podcast service of choice.
We're on 10 plus platforms.
10 plus platforms. Wow, look at us. All of
Wow,
them.
look at
That's
us.
all of them.
All of them. Yeah. All of them.
And ever expanding. But in this episode, we're actually going to be talking about Mob Psycho 100, Season 3.
Yep.
No, I'm just kidding.
No parts.
Just Season 3.
Just season 3.
So if you haven't seen it, it's on Crunchyroll. Maybe Hulu. I don't remember. But I watched it on Crunchyroll. I watched all of it.
Me too.
And it's only, I think 12 episodes?
12 episodes.
Yeah. Easy. One weekend. Boom. Done.
Yeah. 1 weekend, 1 day.
Just chill. All right. I'm setting low expectations. The bar is low.
The bar is low.
But if you haven't seen it or any of the Mob Psycho 100 series, go ahead and go watch it. I recommend it. It's really good.
We highly recommend
Highly
the series.
recommend. But yeah, just go ahead and watch it and then come back and watch this episode. But yeah, for those that haven't watched it, it's essentially because it's done now. This is the final season.
Yep. Final season.
Final season. It's made by
Final.
the creator One. He also made One Punch Man. I know we say this, but I just want to reiterate since it's the final season that yeah, it's really good.
He can concentrate on One Punch Man now.
So funny.
I mean, he has been because the manga ended
Yeah.
already. Yeah, manga ended.
Because this was his main thing at the time. But now it's
Yeah.
But we'll give our quick thoughts, but right before that, we were sponsored by Anchor, which we'll get into that later. Because right now we're talking about non-spoiler thoughts.
Yeah.
You're on your toes, Veronica.
Wow. This is what happens when you're the captain.
Yes.
How interesting.
I'm all over the place. Don't worry about
You're
it.
just
But
jazz hands.
wait,
Just kidding.
stop. Veronica,
Harrison.
what are your non-spoiler thoughts about this season?
I love Mob Psycho. It was one of the animes I watched early on, like in my rewatching, like going back into anime type. It was just really hard to get. Initially, it was hard to get back into the animation because it's like
The art style is quirky, different.
It's quirky, yeah, it's different. Not in a bad way. It's just different.
Yeah,
and you just really have to like watch the first 2 seasons just to kind of get like everyone.
I think you get used to it by like the end of season 1.
Yeah, I got used to it halfway through.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's been a while since between 2 and 3, I think.
Believe so.
2 came out in like 2019, 2020?
I think 2019.
I think 2019.
I'm checking.
Are you checking? Are you double checking me?
Double check. Yeah, 2019. Yep.
Okay. Yeah,
Early
so it's been a
2019.
while.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So it has been like 3 years on the dot. 3.5,
Yep.
I think, then,
Yep.
since this came out.
It's crazy.
But I think like with COVID and everything, they pushed the season back.
Yes, it did.
So it ran in fall of 2022, which is this past fall that we just had. But yeah, I just thought, it was nice to have Mob back. I love Mob and all his quirkiness and he's just so innocent, and I just love him. I think I love his dynamic too with everyone.
Just with everyone, yeah.
Just with everyone, yeah. And you really get to see that dynamic even more, and you get to understand him more this season.
Yep.
But yeah, oh gosh, his bond with his brother and the best sensei is just
Best
the best.
sensei ever.
The best ever. But yeah, it was just good. It was happy. It closed out a lot of stuff, in my opinion.
It wrapped up a lot of things. It like tied any loose ends.
Mm-hmm.
It was really well rounded. So much character progression and character development and all that. So
especially for Mob. Oh,
100%. This is the one that, if anything, this season was mainly about his
journey.
Like shred. I mean, it's about him, but it felt more about
him.
What drives him and everything. So
yeah,
it was interesting.
No,
yeah,
it was good. How about you?
No, I love this. Like, I love the series so much. Like, when this first was, one of my friends, he actually recommended this to me, and he said the same thing. Every time he's like, the art will be weird. It's kind of weird to get into, but it's totally worth it. And catching up now, like finishing the season now, I was like, dude, this is like top 5, top 10 for sure. Yeah. Like, I loved this series so much, and I just loved how everything was conveyed, and it just felt really good. It just felt good to watch at the end. There's so much hype.
It's a good feel.
Good feel.
Yeah.
Good feels, but like a lot of action. Like, it's got a variety of things, like suspense and all this stuff. So it's really, they do such a good job juggling everything.
So good.
It's so good.
It's so good. That's this whole episode. It's just us saying it's so good.
But yeah, I think mainly this one was just about. It's really just about Mob worrying about his future, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's the most premise I will give, just in case, because it builds off.
Because if you haven't seen 1 and 2, which you should, and this follows off where 2 ended, really.
Yeah.
So.
But if that's it, I'll get into spoilers.
Yes.
Cool. But before that, we're gonna take a quick break to talk about our sponsors.
On this episode, we are sponsored by Anchor. It is a free podcast hosting service that we actually use. We've been using Anchor since we've started the podcast. It's because there are creation tools that allow us to record and edit the podcast right from our phones and computers. A huge plus for us is that Anchor would distribute our podcast to all platforms such as Spotify, Apple iTunes, Google Podcasts, and many more. It really is everything that you need to make a podcast all in one spot. Please download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm, anchor.fm to get started.
We're back.
Wow. Water break over.
Stanley Cup right over there.
Stanley Cup.
Not sponsored, but
Go,
could
Joe.
be.
But could be. Sponsor us, please.
All right. Mob Psycho season 3.
No parts.
No parts. Must be nice.
No parts.
Well, okay, so I guess we could just it's kind of broken up into 3 things, because it got intense off like pretty quickly.
Yes, it
did. I remember you because I actually did not watch this weekly.
I did.
And Veronica did. And I would just hear from her. She's like, did you watch? Did you start? I was like, not yet. She's like, it's insane. I was like, bro, it's only been like 3-4 episodes that came out. She's like, yep.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, all right.
No one believed me until
I did not believe you until I started watching. I was like, oh, it is broken up into 2 parts, essentially.
Essentially 2 parts, yeah.
Essentially the 2 big arcs.
Yeah.
Because the first part is over the divine tree.
You mean the broccoli?
The divine tree. How dare you?
No, the broccoli.
The audacity.
The broccoli.
Well, so what did you expect it to get that crazy though?
I did not, because Mob is like such a chill-ish anime.
Chill-ish, yeah.
That when you get action or any fights, it really surprises you.
Mm-hmm.
And I was not expecting Mob to be a full focus, even though this is like named after him. They usually juggle the other characters a lot. Yeah, they do. Which is what I also like about Mob, is that they showcase all the other characters.
Yeah.
But right off the bat, it's just like Mob's the worshipper?
He is the the psycho helmet or the
the helmet.
Yeah,
psycho helmet.
People think he's
a
the
god.
Yeah,
He's a god. And poor Mob, he's just this like kid that just wants to get through, like get into a high school, and like
he actually is like in this one he actually has to think about like what he wants to do in the future because that was the focus for the students.
Yeah.
And at the time he's like, oh yeah, I guess I'll have to figure it out. But then you would think he's doing all these things like, oh yeah, he may work at the at Rengen's office,
like office, yeah,
at the spirit consultation or something.
Yeah.
But then he's like, oh, I'm not gonna. He's like, I'm probably not going to. I was like, oh, okay.
I know, and it was just like I wasn't expecting shots within the divine tree broccoli so quickly, because it showed like the spread of like what the magic powers of like what the divine tree does.
Yeah. But
and it was just so funny and hype. It was really hype because the broccoli made them look like Mob. Like the roots just like turned into Mob.
yeah, I forget. Is it the tree itself or was it like Dimple working towards that?
I think it was a little bit of both.
A little bit of both, right?
Because like Dimple did
take some of the
help
power
out
and help
and
like
takes over the power. Yeah.
But
he made the tree, like he made like the roots and stuff like into Mob, I think.
I don't remember that.
Okay.
I just don't remember the details of that because I remember just because I just watched it
Sped
like
through it.
Yeah, I just binged through it.
Sped through it.
But so I guess like the first half, it's the focus on the broccoli because over time it starts taking over people's mind. Yeah, the okay, way to flip it. I like how with Dimple, he is the antagonist to some extent on this one, because he kind of reverted back. He's like, oh, he's reverting back to what he used to do.
I'm a god.
But he wanted to take in Kageyama or Shigeo into it, and I like this because when they first come, because at this point, Mob is trying to figure out what's going on,
what he wants to do. He's juggling school.
That is his focus, and so Dimple was trying to like ask him for help and all that stuff, but Mob's like no. But I loved that conversation because that was like a battle in it of itself, but no action, but it was just like that tense, just as tense. Because at that point you start realizing, oh, Dimple's probably up to something, but you don't know what yet.
But you don't know why.
But you suspect him. But I like this first half for like how much Mob Psycho does a good job with maintaining suspense, and making you like question what's gonna happen. Because at this point,
but also like showcasing like Mob's power.
Yeah. Because right now, like the power, like the broccoli's just getting worse and worse, right?
And it's like controlling the town.
It's controlling
like,
the
it's
town,
the center
and you
of
don't know
attention.
who's controlled it or not at this point. But then you start learning how it happens, and it's crazy.
It's so crazy.
But, dude, at that point, I was just so like, this is why I binged, because I was like, I need to know what happens. But then my wife would be like, oh, I need to study. I was like, all right, cool. But she would want to watch more too. I was like, well, too bad. Now we got to stop.
Because you got to study.
You got to study. It's your fault.
How'd you feel about Mob? Because in this season, he goes to 100% a lot.
He does a lot. Yes.
Yeah. How did you feel about the first time that he did it? Which was technically the first half.
It was in the first half. Wasn't it early? Was it early on?
I feel like it was early
like
on. It was like
or something, right?
2 or 3. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's episode 3.
Yeah.
I was surprised how fast it happened. Because what was the conflict on that one? It was after the yokai hunter.
Yes, it was. And then I think he was going to ask that girl out because she was moving away. And then I think his emotions were like
all over the place.
Like bottled up and all over the place, and that's how he got to 100%. I think.
I don't remember what was
3.
the catalyst. Yeah, I don't remember what the catalyst was, because something made him freak out. But I was just surprised that happened. And then right after that, the tree started, the founder started popping up.
Yeah.
Because everyone's so like, the cult was getting crazy big, so it was kind of surprising. But anyway.
And the way the tree got people to like get sucked in was like, it was in everything. It was like candy, food, drinks, like it was everywhere.
Yeah. But it was cool because like it was weird. So it was weird that no one really noticed, but then you start realizing, oh, maybe they were already brainwashed. Then you don't know. And it's great. The favorite point was seeing Ritsu and Reagan.
Trying
to help figure it out. And then you start learning that they turned. And it's crazy for Mob to like finally just be like, oh no, now I have to actually go deal with this.
He's like, I'm alone. Because even his brother like got turned.
Yep. They all got turned. Like
they all got turned.
Like everyone got turned. And because the one girl kept trying to push him to reveal himself to be the founder. And he's like, is this my future?
Yeah.
The whole issue is this my future? That's always the question.
It really is.
Yeah.
He was just trying to get into a high school.
But as a middle schooler, it's like, damn, that is the thing. It's like, oh, what am I going to do for the rest of my life? I'm like, I don't know. I can go back and tell myself, I'm like, bro, I still don't know. Trust me. But
what'd you think about the divine tree fights?
Oh my god, dude. It was crazy to think how far we've come, and you start realizing, oh, Dimple became the antagonist.
Yeah.
I say this because they fight, he gets his golden form, and Shigeru's just, dude, that form is peak. It's beautiful.
I knew you'd enjoy that form so much.
I was like, this is peak. Beautiful.
Dude, the butt cheeks on Dimple.
Nico GG. But no, but it was so cool to see their fights every time they go all in.
It's crazy.
Animation's top tier. It's amazing. But it was fun to see like Dimple go all out just to find out like Mob is someone holding him back because he just wants to talk to Dimple.
They're friends.
Because they're friends.
They're friends.
But then finally like he gets some sense into him, or Dimple does. But then they start realizing the tree has a mind of its own. Yeah. And it's like, no, give me back that. Give me the kid. And when Dimple gave himself up to like,
oh no, to save Mob. Oh.
And when he was like, because he still had the power to like, what was it, persuade or like, not really coerce, but like persuade people to do stuff, right?
Yeah.
He told Mob like, even though you can't move, just go out. I'll be there. But then you start learning like, oh, he lost half his body and all this. It was such.
But then how Mob saw him was like in his little Dimple form.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
So good.
Dude, that part I was like, man, this is why it's so good, because there's so much development, and you see how Dimple like then realizes, no, yeah, Mob's my friend. I need to take care of him. I'll take care of you. And I was like, oh, and that all happened.
And the other kid too.
Yeah, the blonde hair. I can't never remember.
Hanazawa. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hanazawa?
Yes.
Yeah, the little blonde kid.
Yeah. Yeah,
so good.
No, and then there was that fight, dude. There's so many things that kept building up. Like it's always like gonna build up to Mob being the strongest telepath, but not telepath, but I forget. No, it's beautiful. All the fights.
I didn't know the inside of a broccoli could look like that.
But I still eat broccoli.
But you still eat broccoli.
I'd still eat it.
Man.
But and it's just fun to see like there's so many moments where you see like old characters, because so that's the first half is just the broccoli fight, which is crazy because I felt like it was a final fight.
Yeah, I know, right?
And now it's gonna be, and it's an hour in the second half, which again where I'm like, well, who's gonna be the bad guy now? And at the time I didn't know it was the final, but then I was like, oh, it's the final. Now what?
Yeah. But I liked the second half a lot.
Yes.
It delved into like the schooling part, just like normal day activities.
Yep.
That like a middle schooler would do. Did you like that hiking episodes, like the 2 hiking episode. It was so funny.
So funny. It was like they had the. So I mean, it's always fun to see how unfit Mob is.
Mob, yeah.
Like he's not fit whatsoever.
But he got better.
Yes.
He was better this
Yes.
season. I just like how Mob he didn't realize he had a big support system until he needed to be saved.
Yes. And that's the crazy part to see. So essentially the big plot point in the second half was Mob wants to ask what's her name?
The girl out.
The girl out.
What is her name?
I forget her name all of a sudden every time.
Me too.
Tsubami Takane.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
But because the girl that everyone likes, but I thought there was something sus about her initially, but then they just came back.
Me too.
Because they kept saying, because she kept acting a certain way. Because remember,
Yeah,
she got
she
like a
did.
nosebleed or something, and she started freaking out.
And then she's started sneaking around. Like she was in spots where she wasn't supposed to be.
Yeah.
And I just thought it was a little sus as well.
But it always boiled back to her and Mob were somewhat close because they were, and the reason why he liked her was just because she liked him, or she didn't think his powers were that crazy, or she didn't think anything of it.
He was just a normal kid to her.
So that's what he liked. But I like how Mob became the, not antagonist, but just a big issue. He became the baddie in a sense.
Yeah, he did.
Because he just wanted to ask her out, and that's all the emotions. But then dude, I didn't expect him to get hit by a car.
Right?
Yeah. But it was weird because I was like, oh, he stopped the kid, but then why did he get hit by the car? Because I was so confused how the powers work, just to find out that was thought of too.
Yeah.
That there's internal conflict with him, and that's why we keep getting the 100% and shit.
I know, it was crazy, especially the split personalities.
Because it's the Mob personality versus the Kageyama personality.
Yeah.
Yep. And I was like, this is insane. It just kept building up, but then all in the while, because he's gone psycho mode right after getting hit. I just love seeing how all the previous people that he's fought or helped out try to stop him.
They're trying to stop him. They're trying to be good people.
Yes.
They're trying to
people from the Claw tried to stop him. Even the boss at the came in at the end just to find out he couldn't stop him. But then he's like, okay, we're gonna run. We're actually
his brother too.
His brother,
Ritsu, yeah.
His friend, his friend. Oh, when Hanazawa fought him.
Yeah.
Just to be nude at the end.
He's always turns nude, and his hair always goes
I love it.
Crazy.
It's consistency.
It's just crazy. It really is.
Yeah.
I loved it. I cried a little bit. On the last
dude,
2
at
episodes.
the end, I was like, this is so much. Holy shit. Because it's really just him trying to accept. It's him just accepting himself. Oh, and in Reagan, it was so endearing when he was trying to tell him it's the truth is I'm not a psych. But it's funny as a viewer, you're like, we know this.
Yeah.
But then Mob knows it too. It's just hearing it, right? Because that was the whole Mob was like, oh, he's a good guy, and then the other guy's like, no, he just uses you, blah blah blah, all this stuff. So it's Mob's aware of all these things. It's just the internal strife that he goes through, and it's insane.
He doesn't care. Mob's just a kid that likes to be with Reagan. Yeah, it's fine.
But overall, I liked the ending. I liked how it built up to that point, and life goes. They had Mob calms down, asks her out, gets declined, but he is okay with it.
But he's okay with it,
and not
because he finally accepted himself. I think.
Yeah, and I think that was it's just funny. It's just fun to think about how far the journey's come from where we started from season 1.
Yeah.
And it's so much happened in this season. It's really crazy to just point out.
It was condensed.
It was condensed
but
into 12
it.
episodes. And
I liked it a lot.
I liked the pacing and everything. So, because it just felt like everything it just felt nonstop in a different way.
Which was really nice. I agree. We didn't need this part 1, part 2.
No. Stop. Thanks, Attack on Titan. Thanks, Harry Potter.
Right. Thanks to everyone.
But
I think that ending was really sweet. It was just Mob, he was just happy to be there. I think
it was fun to see a lot of the third years leave, and then Mob, and seeing where everyone went, right? Because now Mob's no longer with the consultation company.
He's just a regular old.
Because now he's still he hangs out with the body improvement club. He's their senpai.
He's their
He's their senpai now.
Can you believe it?
No, honestly, no. Yeah, and then, I mean, and it's weird. It's just fun to see, like, where they are, all the other people, they're still doing like what they're doing at this point. Because you see all these bad guys, right, from like season 2 and season 1, and they're just living their normal lives, and how like and like how Reagan never lost a psychic because he still has Serizawa.
Yeah.
But
and his business is still really good.
That guy had such development too from when they started. It's crazy. He's like, it dropped very little, but he's like, yeah, I'm going to school. Yeah, I'm gonna hang out with some of the students or my classmates. I'm like, he would not have done that before.
No, he wouldn't.
And in such a short amount of time, he also had development. So, but I think overall, what I liked about season 3 was they wrapped everything up. They explained a lot of things, but they also explained like why Mob was the way he was. Why Reed? Because they kept alluding to stuff in previous seasons.
They did.
It's like,
especially why Mob's like that.
Yeah, like why he's scared of his powers and such. But
I mean, now we know, and now Mob's done.
Yeah, now it's done. I think
I'm sad, but I'm happy that Mob Psycho 100 is done.
It's sad because I wanted. It's not that I wanted more. I was just so used to watching it.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy to think that this would have ended way earlier, actually.
No, it would have ended in, like, I think 2020.
Yeah.
It was supposed to end.
I think it would have been done by then.
Yeah.
But it still feels, I'm happy because it feels like a well-rounded story. And I think for how short it was, it's only 36 episodes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And for 36 episodes, it's so well-rounded. It has all these, like, parts that just makes the whole show feel fulfilling.
And it's funny. That's the best part.
And it's funny.
The action's good. Mob just being himself now. I could cry.
Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah. I recommend it. We already said it at the beginning too. But 100%. I just think how deep this show gets. Really deep, and it's really good. Unexpectedly deep at times.
If you pay attention.
Yeah. Well, and sometimes like just the plot point, like the climax of certain plot issues, it's like, oh, that's deep. Okay.
Yeah. Oh.
But that's all I got. I just wanted to gush about the show. Nice.
Me too.
Well, then I will just close out the show.
Perfect.
Thanks for tuning in. You can follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and Facebook at NgoVo Convo and NgoVo Convo. If you're on YouTube, don't forget to hit that like button and notification bell to get updates from when we upload. And subscribe.
Wow.
Just let us know how we're doing, what you want to see next, and what do you want us to read, play, watch. Yeah, just do that. Yeah. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.